Right, everyone. We want to continue on to bring you the very latest. Now we are tracking the weather. And if you were watching the Pebble Beach Pro-Am over the weekend, you saw just some wild weather that was happening and the rain continuing to be a factor. Let's go out right now. Fox Weather's Steve Bender joining us here with the latest breakdown of what Fox Weather is tracking right now.
Yeah, Mike, hey, there's a lot of activity. As you mentioned, a lot of rain over the weekend. That continues on for California. We're going to talk about all that energy out west, though, what it does as it moves across the country, because there are some massive storms that are ongoing. This is what's already happened. Notice areas in orange, whether it's the Western Sierra or the King Ranges, they've had 3 to 5 inches of rain. That means the surface is waterlogged. It's been ongoing. Now, we have I-80. It's the main artery that takes you from San Francisco, Sacramento, up through Reno. That is closed. They are having blizzard-like conditions. Snow totals surpassing 3 feet of snow already. And you can tell on radar, it's still ongoing. A lot of this energy, though, is going to move south overnight. By tomorrow morning, we could see some of that rain moving into Southern California. If that impacts some burn scar areas like the Pacific Palisades, the Eaton Fire, that could lead to some concerns early tomorrow. So I encourage you, if you have family and friends or you live in SoCal, to be watching Fox Weather tomorrow morning. Here's the other big story, though. Look at all the snow leaving the Sierra Nevada, going through the Great Basin. They have been starved out west. A massive snow drought for Utah, Arizona, and into the Rockies. They are going to get some beneficial snow. That's the good side of things. This is what we're talking about for that rain expectation. For the City of Angels, Los Angeles, it's going to be quiet for the most part. It's those areas to the north, whether it's San Bernardino Mountains, San Gabriel Mountains, out towards Santa Barbara and Malibu. That's where you have concern for more rain. Now, the big question, though, is what happens once this energy leaves the west? Because if you live in the southern plains, you live in the Midwest, the northern plains, if you live in the Great Lakes or the East Coast, you're saying, why do I care about what's happening out west? Well, you'll see the conveyor belt into the sky, the jet stream, guides all this energy to each different region, and it has a different type of impact. We have 3 different storms that are going to move through this week, one of which already impacted the West Coast just yesterday. Now it's spilling down into the plains, and we have a fire weather warning that goes from the Dakotas and Wyoming all the way down into West Texas, everywhere in between. We have multiple towns that are being evacuated right now in Oklahoma because of the fire concern. Here in Guyman, that area, that's the Panhandle, Oklahoma, just outside of there, Beaver, a couple miles away, a massive fire that's forcing those evacuations. But what causes this fire is multiple factors. Extremely dry, but it's the wind. And the wind today created a massive crash in Colorado, I-25, just outside of Pueblo. They had over 30 vehicles that were in that crash. Sadly, 10 people were taken to the hospital. 4 people have been confirmed dead because of that big wind event. That's leaving the Rockies. As it moves over the Palmer Divide, moves into the plains like we're talking right now, big dust storm, brownout conditions happening in Kansas. So US 50, our big road there, that is being closed. As we had talked about, these fires, they're just a small icon. They are growing rapidly right now because of those wind conditions. That's all attributed to that same storm that was impacting the West yesterday. So extreme fire outlook, that is something that you don't see far too often. So this is something to take notice of. It continues on tonight as well from North Platte, Nebraska through eastern Colorado, relatively remote, but it gains steam as it moves into areas like Colby, Dodge City, down into the Panhandle region of Oklahoma and Texas. This is a massive story that's ongoing. We're already seeing the impacts on all of our visuals. We have teams that are on the ground. Have visuals of this. We're using traffic cameras, and we also have our affiliates out of Colorado and Oklahoma. So we encourage you, if you have family, friends, or any interest in weather, watch us throughout the day and tomorrow as this evolves, because the high wind goes through tonight and then it keeps going on and ushering in bigger factors as it moves towards the north and the east. Looking at some of the top wind gusts already, we're looking into the 40s, 50s, and 60s. If there's a small ember, that allows that fire to grow quickly. It turns into a larger wildfire. You're looking at the potential through this evening for that to accelerate even higher. So we were saying 40s, 50s, and 60s. Notice Dodge City, Amarillo, they're into the 60 to 70 mile per hour threshold. So we haven't even reached the peak wind gusts in those areas. We're already seeing some of those massive impacts. One positive note is that the fire danger does start to taper off as we move into tomorrow and Thursday. But notice it's the same areas still in that threat. So if there's any fire that starts today, this will continue to likely grow because the conditions are in place for Wednesday and Thursday, and that's all because of the active cycle. You're looking at Scottsbluff, Nebraska, showing us where the next few hours they have all the conditions in place for this to grow, and that is one thing, Mike, that we're watching as this moves north in the upper Midwest. We have an ice and snow threat for the Great Lakes region, and then the East Coast. We're looking at active weather starting Wednesday, going all the way through Thursday, Friday, then the weekend, and a lot of question marks by the end of the weekend. Could we have a nor'easter? So I know I hit you with a lot, and I encourage you, if you have a chance, to come spend time with us here on Fox Weather, because we're going to be diving deep into this, of course, today, tomorrow, and throughout the week.
Steve, you always do. You guys do such a great job of breaking it down, and there's so much going on, like you just pointed out there. And we were taking earlier today out in Colorado that update, devastating there with the winds, and it turned deadly. We were showing some of the impacts, and the video was unreal.
Yeah, brownout conditions, it happens just like that, Mike. And so that's the scary thing, is that you may be thinking, okay, I'm going to have high winds today, and so you're going to be prepared for that. But you're not prepared for the amount of dust that could pick up, especially in areas like maybe Pueblo, but they've been extremely dry. Many areas, by the way, Mike, which is something we've talked about throughout the wintertime, have had the warmest and driest winters on record, whether it's Colorado or Nebraska, which is setting the stage for this event tonight and the next several days, is what we're watching closely.
All right, Steve Bender, thanks so much for joining us here on Live Now from Fox.